See, I don't think any of you know why you're here tonight. We'll get back to that. About 3 years ago, we went to something called the Landmark Forum. And as you walk into the Landmark Forum, it's put on, it started by a guy named Werner Erhard. At the time, I didn't know who Werner Erhard was. I didn't really study anything that he said or what he taught or anything like that. And so you're doing this thing called the forum. They only let you drink water in there. You got like a little break to get some dinner. It's this like exhausting thing that you're in some type of like, you're with the, what are those people called? The Moonies or something, or something like that. And you know, real weird. But the thing that opens up, and that's where I even tell the story, the reason is that I'm talking about it is at the beginning of the thing, they start saying, you know what we're going to do is we're going to help you to get authentic about your own inauthenticities. So we needed to cite that and let you know that that's where that came from around here, and get authentic about your own inauthenticity. See, I told you that you don't know why you came here tonight. And I believe that to be true. And I believe that if we can actually go out here and we can figure out why people came here. And what motivated them to come here? Why did you come here? So when it said get authentic about our own inauthenticities, this process had already been kind of shown to me, and it had already been going on in my life, and it was just another indicator that I was going the right direction, but this got more intense. And what the premise is about getting authentic about our own inauthenticities is simply this. There is something inside of me that has me, and I don't have it. Like there is something inside of me that thinks, but I don't think. It thinks. See, there's something inside of me that thinks, but it's not me. I know it does it. It thinks. You know, I'm going through this diet thing, and you know that I don't have an appetite. An appetite has me. You see that? I don't have an appetite. There's no place in here where I come up with the idea of an appetite. I don't say I'm hungry, and you know, I might say I'm hungry, but I'm not. Hunger has me. The appetite has me. Thoughts have me. See, I think we got it reversed. People think that they have thoughts. No, you don't. Thoughts have you. And something has you. And something about what we're doing here, about getting authentic about our own inauthenticity, has to do with this one word, motivation. So when we get authentic, what we're going to get authentic about is what is currently motivating, what is it up to? What is its motivation? Why did I come here tonight? Honestly, not like what I'm going to say, but honestly. See, and if you get real honest about this process, about getting authentic about your motivation. So the thing about getting authentic about our own inauthenticity is to begin to really examine under a fine microscope our own motivation. Why we do what we do. What is this thing inside of us that has us? It has us. It has you looking in the mirror. You're just along for the ride. It has you going places. It is up to something all the time. So about getting authentic means, let me take a look at what it's up to. See, I'm going to have this conversation with Amy, and really, I might be in pain. And really, I might want to tell her she's at fault. But really, what it's easier to do is kind of disguise that. And I get some words out that cut like a knife, but they don't. And I know they're cutting. But see, to get authentic and get closer to what is going on, we have to be... Listen, I'm here tonight, and I can tell you after years of doing this, I still don't know often what it's up to. I can't honestly tell you why I do this. I can't tell you what drives me to come sit in this seat. I can give you some inauthentic answer and say it's just about the people. I can say something crazy like, if one person out there gets the message tonight, it's all worth it. I could say some bullshit like that, but it would be bullshit. Isn't the truth that it feels good? What motivates you? What are you currently having a conversation about, and why? What is it up to? See, and if you got honest about what it's up to, and you haven't done this process yet, the first thing that you're going to start figuring out is that the first thing it's up to is looking good. And that looking good and what it's up to about looking good is setting precedents and guiding us in our life. Some people come here and they say they want to come because they want to get better, but they don't. Some come to look good. Some come to figure out why I'm wrong. Some come for a date. Some come because they like the dinner beforehand. And then this is work. And then some people come because maybe they felt a little love here once and they want to experience it again. That could be true. And then some people come here because they can't wait to get home to tell their family members what they've learned and how the people there at home should learn it too. You imagine that? There's people in this room that will not acknowledge that they are here because they want somebody else to get better. And they don't even know what it's up to. So they come here and they get the knowledge and they say, I don't need this. This ain't about me. Thank God I learned it though, because my husband, when I get home, he really needs this shit. I can be honest with that. I used to read books just so I can, really prove that I was smarter than the people that hadn't. No really contemplation about what is in the book and what value it is to me and the experience of reading, none of that. Reading with the motivation because I can't wait till I'm done with this book so I can tell people I read it. Not even enjoying the book. I think this is a real problem. I think what motivates us, and we're not authentic about what motivates us, and it gets us in all kinds of predicaments. I want you to look at Seattle. If you ask the people in Seattle that are helping on the homeless problem, if they are helping, they will emphatically tell you yes. They will say, yes, I help on the homeless problem every day. The problem with that logic is there was 4,000 recently, and now there's 12,500. People not understanding their motivation is why we get where we get. I didn't know when I was smoking pot for the first time about what pot felt like. I did know what it felt like to get shamed by my friends and not smoke pot. I did understand that. And I would have told you that I'm motivated to smoke pot because I want to feel what it feels like. That wasn't true. I was motivated to smoke pot because I didn't want to feel what it felt like if I didn't smoke pot. So I was lying about my motivation from the start. I lied about my motivation my entire life. Why was I being nice to my mother? For the first 37 years of my life, I was being nice to my mother because I wanted something. Never another motivation. Nastiness. But I can tell you with all honesty that it's true. I did not care, did not have the capacity to care about her, nor did I think that I should have. Her job was to care for me. That was it. I don't care for her. You see, I don't care for my mother. And I didn't. And I can say that's true. Because at this point in my life, I'm down with one thing, and that's getting authentic about my motivation on a daily basis. Still, after 4 or 5 years of doing this process, still not knowing what it is all the time. And only the human being that has the humility to acknowledge it. So after I got done with the forum, I got real down with Warner Earhart, and I started listening to a lot of what he said. I started listening to everything he had that was out there to listen to. And what he talks about in this process is how young this starts. And he talks about how this thing in us that is up to something that's not us, that has motivation, but we don't have motivation. Its motivation has us. And we lie about that. And he says it started really early on. He saw it really early on in a 6-year-old kid in the mall. And he was standing in the mall, or he was sitting in a chair in a mall, and he saw a 6-year-old kid. And a 6-year-old kid right in front of his mother was throwing a tantrum because he wasn't getting what he wanted. So he watches this, and the staff surrounds the kid, and they take the mother out of the scene. They remove the mother from the scene. The kid stops crying. The kid stops throwing a tantrum. So now Warner sits back and watches. And he says the mother starts walking back in the scene, and a 6-year-old kid winks at him. And he winks at him, and he gets right down to the business of throwing a tantrum again right when he sees mom. Now that's something that's up to something. And what we are up to is looking good, and the way we do it is dominating. What are you up to with your silent treatment? So now you and your partner get in a fight and you give the silent treatment. What the are you up to? Have you looked? And then I'll say to somebody that's giving somebody else a silent treatment, what are you up to? And they'll say, I just want to communicate better with my husband. He doesn't communicate good enough. Then why aren't you communicating? Because you're trying to dominate. You're not up to that. You're trying to get your way without communication. You're trying to win. The silent treatment about winning. People are up to something. It's up to something. Everything is, and it's always up to something with us, and what it's up to is dominating and avoid domination. Looking good. Winning. It ain't up to getting more love. It ain't up to better communication. It ain't up to coming here to find love and to find a solution. It came here to look good. It came here to be with somebody, and then if I say, well, you came here to be with somebody, no, I didn't. In fact, when you start looking to see what it's up to, you're going to start seeing that it ain't up to getting nothing done. That's why problems are persisting everywhere and nothing changes. Because it needs other people's problems so it can feel better. It can't help solve shit. It needs to go around all day picking out what's wrong with everybody. It doesn't want nothing to get better. It wants to find how you suck so it can tell you. Maybe you ain't in the looking good business and you ain't in the being right business. But if you stand up telling me that you ain't in that business, you ain't in the look good business, and you ain't in the being right business, that's because you just wanted to be right and look good. So if you sat here and you say, that ain't me, I ain't in that business. If you sat here and said that, that's the business I'm talking about right there. This thing just told you how you're better than everybody. And you thought it was you, so you listened. And it is up to looking good, and you better watch out. That ain't me. I don't know who he's talking about. Geez, these people are all screwed up. Good thing they're here. This world's going to be more peaceful when these fuckers figure it out. If you want to spot your own inauthenticity, let your motivation show. You'll figure it out. It's up to something. You looked in the mirror today. I don't care about looking good. Yeah, you did. You got dressed. You wore the clothes that made you look best. And if you go, no, I wore what's comfortable, then now you got that shit going. I'm just a comfortable guy. So you might look at your parents. You might look at your kid, and what you're looking at is through glasses of what's wrong with them. And that's all you see when you're looking. And you might need to take a look and look through some glasses of humility. And just go ahead and see if you can love them again if you do that. I'm working with Travis a lot on this, a kid that's working for us. And he said something really cool. He says, it always thinks that the score's being run up on it. It's always keeping score, and it's always thinking I'm losing. It's always telling me they're winning and I'm losing and the score is going the other direction. That's a brilliant insight. You know, I used to tell a story that I told people was about Amy. You know, I remember. I told a story about how, you know, when a cat eats out of the bowl, if it gets down to a few food pieces in there, it'll stop eating. It won't eat the end of the food. It will always leave food in the dish. You know, it just will. And it'll wait for you to fill that dish up before it eats. Well, I used to say that Amy was a lot like a cat, and that she did that with the bank account. You see, if there was a little bit of money left in there, she don't even touch that. She waits till I fill up the bowl. You see? But see, that's a story now back in the day, if people would say, Art, why do you say that story? I would say, that's a cute story about Amy. But that ain't a cute story about Amy. I just told you that I fill up the bowl. I told you that I'm the fucking man. And you know, I had to spot that kind of motivation inside of me that was false. Because I can go on and on telling stories about how cool I am and cover it up as something else. I was falsely motivated and still am. And it's a constant issue. And I don't always know what it's up to. So I challenge you this week and I say, just take a look at what it's up to. What it's up to when you're in the car. What is it thinking about? What thoughts have you? What is it thinking? What does it want? What is it like? What is it not like? Why? What is it up to? Start looking at what it's up to. It's right here. It's telling you, but it's lying. For the most part, there's something inside of all of you that wants to dominate and doesn't want to love. And it's using a lot of tricks. Passive-aggressive, sarcasm, belittling, joking. What are you up to with your jokes? Are they funny or are they belittling? What are you up to with your sarcasm? You trying to get them to stop a behavior that you don't want to do, so you use sarcasm? I do that one. Good luck with that. Are you using the silent treatment and then telling people you want to talk? You want a better relationship? Good luck with that. You know, the young girl, she walks in her door, she learns this at a young age. Slams the door, goes in her bed, Dad knocks on the door, she says, I don't want to talk, Dad. What does she want? She wants to talk. But she wants to dominate Dad for a little while and make him suffer. And it's kind of like the little girl learns this at a young age to Dad. She's saying, don't mess with me. Don't try to tell me what to do. I'll slam my door and you won't even get in. Next time it's going to be longer. You see, it's a real game. But what about two people that just want to love each other more? That ain't even in the game. That ain't part of the game. Because it is up to dominating and it doesn't want to be dominated. So take a look this week. Thank you.